Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. Keith Good joining us here today live from Billings, Montana. Yeah, he's back home. He's a Reiki practitioner, energy healer. His company's called Goods Holistic Healing. And how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Kids are good, 8 and 10. Everyone's getting through this winter weather, excited for the spring. Feel a little more rejuvenated and, excited that the weather's going to get better soon. What about yourself?
Well, thanks for having me on again. Yeah, weather's been beautiful. We snuck up here between storms. We had about a week with nice weather. It's been in the 50s here.
Wow.
So we're doing good. We had to do some work and get some loaded. We got probably 3 loads to come up here and get. So yeah, we're doing well.
Great. And how's your body? How's your mind? How's your spirit? I know you're helping so many in all these areas.
Well, first I want to tell everybody that before we get started here that you can reach me at goodsholistichealing.com or at info@goodsholistichealing.com for email, and phone number is 406-272-6006. And you bring up an interesting thing there, Jill, that how's my body, soul, and mind? And mine's been great, but we all fluctuate. We all have our good days and we all have our bad days, and
Yeah.
it can fluctuate within a day. So we want to make sure that people don't get discouraged just because they're having a down day. That's when you want to talk to your higher power and any other guides that you have out there that help you get through those bad times, because it's really just our ego that's creating those bad times. It's not spirit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so spirit is forever. Our ego and our physical is not.
Very true. And, you offer people this guidance, this clarity. You're walking through it yourself personally. And I know, yeah, it's not always easy for everyone, but you, with your energy practice, meditation, and your experience, you are helping people heal. So do you help yourself heal as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. I actually see other practitioners from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some of them I've been to Reiki practitioners. I've been to chiropractors. I've been to most of mine are all alternative healings, which I believe more in than regular um,
Mm-hmm.
Western medicine. Um, and I do some herbal stuff. I do some essential oil stuff, healing with that. Of course, I do my own self Reiki from time to time. So yeah, we all have and of course the meditation, which meditation we have to understand. And I've probably mentioned this before, but I can't mention it enough. Meditation is the master healer because it slows us down. It gets us out of our ego. It gets us out of our physical and into the higher consciousness that we have, and that releases a lot of how do we want to say that? It releases us to be able to heal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so meditation is the master healer, but we have to build up to that. I mean, you don't sit down and meditate and
No.
expect to heal in one day. You have to, first of all, most people can't even keep their mind closed long enough
Okay.
to meditate right away, and that's where the guidance of meditation comes in, to help people to relax and so forth. And so yeah, I do all of that, and I do some things just depends on what's going on, which one I go to and because it's just like the old adage and that Western medicine says, which is very true, is that you have to heal yourself before you can help others. You have to take care of yourself before you can take. I learned that quite well with my last wife, before she died. That um, I had to take care of me first
Yeah.
before I could help her out.
Ah,
So
absolutely.
bear with me if something goes wrong with my internet connection. I don't know how stable this internet connection is at this hotel.
It's okay. It seems a little in and out, but that's all right. It happens. Go ahead.
So, so we have to take care of ourselves, and sometimes that taking care of ourselves includes asking for help, and not just help from other people, but help from the spirit world, help from your higher power, help from whatever guides, help from ancestors that might be in the spirit world. All those people are out there, or all those spirits, however you want to look at it, are out there willing to help and wanting to help. So we can ask that. We don't have to just deal with physical third dimensional people, even though they're great people. I mean, I'm not putting any profession down here. I'm saying that we have a plethora of help out there, whether it be in the physical or in the spirit, to help us heal. And we were talking the other day, the wife and I, and we were just talking about little things. And I said, the comment came up that it doesn't matter what you eat because your body is not the the everlasting part of you. And throughout the conversation, this was going on. And then when the wife and I got in the car, and I said, well, the body may not be the everlasting part of us, but it is the temple of our spirit. And our spirit doesn't want to live in a decrepit body. It wants to live in something that is as whole as should be. So we do really need to eat right. We do really need to take care of it and exercise and take care of our ailments and so forth, because this is what the body is for. The body is for the spirit to have the experiences that we have on this earth. We have to understand that the spirit doesn't feel like we do. Spirit has love, and that's all it knows. At least that's what we're told on the earth. So it can't experience sadness and heartbreak and so forth. The only way you can experience that is by being in a body. So come to earth is for it to grow itself, to understand things. And that's one of the things that we have to be aware of. And that's where we want to continue to take care of ourselves, our full of our spirit. It's sort of like God. God has no other feeling other than love. And it was said to me one time, and I don't know if I ever mentioned this on this podcast before, but it was said to me one time that another guru that I study was asked, "Why does God let all these bad things happen in this world?" And the answer by that guru was, and this was um, Sri Yogananda, and he said, "Would you try to get back to God if everything was good all the time? If you didn't have something bad happen to you, would you reach out to God to help you?" Interesting thought, I thought. If everything's good, that's when we forget about spirit. That's when we forget about all the higher power stuff and it's when we feel bad that we reach out and say, "Help me, God." Disney World, having fun with the family and not having a care in the world, we don't reach out to them like that. But if we have an accident going down there, then we're going to say, "Yeah, help me, God." So interesting thinking, anyway.
Well, Keith, just you, for people that don't know a little bit about your background, I know clearly you've been, how do I say it? You've been touched, right? In a sense, you weren't always an energy healer. You weren't, right? This was something that you've learned a little later, right?
Oh yes, I've only been an energy healer for a little over 7 years, um, but I've been studying spiritually for many many years. Probably since I was 18, 19 years old, I've been studying it. I've been put into a little more depth of it here lately in the last 10 years or so, but I've always been studying it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and and my higher power has hit me over the head with a frying pan, so to speak, from time to time, to tell me to get back to doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I used to own a semi, and I was chasing money instead of doing my spiritual work. And he finally took the semi away from me. Said, "You can't afford to fix this, and you're going to slow down and do something different." And so we think that these things are bad sometimes, but really what it's saying is look at your life and see what's going on and see what you're supposed to be doing. And that's what I call being hit over the head with a frying pan syndrome. And it happened more than once. I mean, that's just one of the things that's happened in the last probably 12 years. I got rid of the semi in
Oh,
2014, 2015, I think. So about 10
okay.
years ago. A
Mm.
little over, yeah, about 10 years ago. So yeah, and that's when things started really, really ramping up with my spiritual development, was when I got rid of that, stopped chasing the money, because I was using money as my goal for everything. And now I don't make any money. And I'm happy as can be.
Wow.
I have enough. I have what I need, and that's all that's necessary. Um, and I learned a lot from that. I learned a lot from knowing that I'll be provided for
No.
if I have the faith that I'm supposed to have. I don't need to go out chasing everything. And if I just believe that, you don't have to believe. That's another thing. There is a difference between belief and faith. Belief is what you know in your head, what you're told to believe. Faith is what you know in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
If you know it to be true, if it's a knowing, if it's a true understanding, then it's faith.
Yeah.
But if it's just a belief, then it's all in your head and you haven't taken it to your heart. And some beliefs don't belong in your heart. Some beliefs are bogus.
Mm-hmm.
But because of our programming and our the way we're brought up and so forth, through society and schools and so forth, family and whatnot, we're conditioned and programmed. And when we get conditioned and programmed, we believe a lot of things that aren't true.
Yeah.
And there's one person that says the truth is there whether you believe it or not.
Mm. Lessons with
So
Keith
sometimes
Good
we don't believe in
today.
what's right.
I love these life learning lessons with Keith. This is the topic today. It's just happening naturally. Yeah, keep going. Keep telling us.
So yeah, so we need to take care of ourselves, body, soul, and mind, and take care of others. We're
Yeah.
not only on earth to deal with ourselves. We get this feeling, we get this idea on this earth that everybody is separate.
Yeah.
I'm separate from you, you're separate from the next person, and we're not. We are all one.
Mm-hmm.
We are only different aspects of the whole, just ourselves, but we're here to help others.
Ah,
And so, and that doesn't mean that you have to be a spiritual guru to help somebody. You don't have to be a Mother Teresa. You know, you can be a housewife. You can be a
yeah.
janitor. You
Yeah.
can be anything and help other people. Because
Yeah.
without the dishwasher at that restaurant I went to the other night, I couldn't have clean plates. So they're helping people.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just as important as the CEO of that corporation. So we have to make sure that we're the trick to it is as we're sure that we're doing things for other people is to know that what we are doing for other people is our right, is what we're supposed to be doing. In other words, if you're not happy at your job, then you're probably not supposed to be doing that.
Yeah.
You probably have another passion out there that you should be doing. You know, if you're not if you can make your job fun even in your mind
Mm-hmm.
and not necessarily be singing or whistling or whatever while you're doing your job, if you can just say, hey, I'm going to enjoy this today, then you're probably doing the right job.
Mm-hmm.
If you're every day you trudge into work and say, oh my gosh, this is just terrible, I just don't want to be here, I don't like the people, I don't like the job, I don't like the menial stuff the boss tells me to do, you're not doing your passion, you're not helping yourself or others. You're just putting money in your pocket so that you can survive, and you're in survival mode. And there's a way to get out of that is to pray and ask for help,
Mm.
and then meditate to listen for the help. Because meditation, if we sit here and pray, and I pray, and we pray every day, and then we go about our business.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a one-sided conversation, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do you know what's the other side of the conversation?
Well,
The
it's
other
like,
side of the conversation is meditating and letting yourself sit down and listen to what's being said to you.
uh-huh.
You know, the big loud voice in your head is not your guidance. Your guidance is a soft voice that's sort of
Yeah.
sitting way back in the back that you can't hear unless you quiet down in meditation and listen to it.
Yeah.
So we don't want a one-sided conversation with our higher powers. We want a two-sided conversation. So that's why we want to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
We want to hear what was being told to us,
Yeah.
and not just talking to them. So we need to have a two-way conversation. When you're not in something that you're supposed to be in, or your job or your leisure activities or anything that you're not really enjoying, you're just doing it because, oh well, the people you're going with want insisting on you. You really don't have any interest in what you're going, or like I said, your job, and you don't like the people and you don't like the boss. Well, then you need to talk and listen. Talk to your higher power, talk to the spirit guides, listen to what they have to tell you, and they'll
Mm-hmm.
guide you, but only if you listen.
But some people might
And
say, well,
listening also
I talk a lot, I hear
entails
nothing
using your
back.
intuition.
But what if people say, well, I hear nothing. I don't feel anything.
Because
I
they
don't.
don't. Okay, so they don't hear anything because they don't know how to feel. They don't know how to feel their intuition coming on.
Mm,
Intuition is your spirit talking to you,
okay.
and I want to know how many times
Mhm.
the audience can relate to something like this. How many times have you gone to parties and you said, "I really shouldn't be going. I really shouldn't be going. I really don't feel like I ought to go." But peer pressure has pressured you into going, and you get there. Things don't go quite right, and you say, "Yep, I shouldn't have been here." Well, your
Yeah.
intuition was telling you not to go to begin with,
Yeah.
and we don't listen to it. We
Uh-uh.
listen with our head. We don't listen with our heart or our gut,
Yeah.
and that's where our intuition is coming from, the gut.
Wow.
And when we learn how to listen to our intuition, um, and women are actually, I have to say that women listen to their intuition more than men do,
Interesting.
because of the macho-ness of a man.
Uh-huh.
Because a man, as he's growing up, as a man's growing up, they're only allowed to have one feeling.
Mm-hmm.
They're being taught to only have one feeling.
Yeah.
You know, we're taught boys don't cry. We're
Mm-hmm.
saying we're always told, man up, be a big boy.
Yeah.
So the only feeling we're ever taught is to have anger. If things don't go my way, I'm going to be angry and I'm going to be demanding.
Yeah.
And because of that, we hide our intuition. Women, on the other hand, are nurturers and more in tune with, because they're nurturers, are more with their body. You know, they bear children, they raise children more than the men do, and they're more into their body. Therefore, they're more in tune with their intuition.
Yeah.
So that's just, women are from Venus, men are from Mars type thing. I don't know if you've ever heard that book before or not, but I've never read it. But that's the essence of it,
Neither
from
have
what I
I. I
understand,
know,
is
I
what
know.
the differences are between men and women.
Uh-huh. Oh,
So yeah, if we listen to our intuition and meditate, we keep in mind we got to remember one big thing about getting our messages from our higher power.
okay.
He answers us when it's time for him to answer us, not when we want him to answer us. So if he doesn't want, if you pray for something and he doesn't answer for 2 weeks, that's a long time to you, but to him that's a split second
Yeah.
because he lives forever. So we are impatient. There's this old saying, God give me patience and I want it now. In other words, you don't want to wait to have patience.
Right? So true.
you know, you're not patient to begin with.
Ah,
So, so, we have to, that's why if you really think of everything happens in God's time as if, but people don't think about what that means. If one day of God's life or God's world is 1,000 years to us, if we live the age we live 2 hours.
wow.
So
Keep.
if he waits our entire life to give us the answer, he's only waited 2 hours
Yeah. Right?
in his time. So you see how fast 2 weeks can be
Hmm.
in God's time.
Sure.
2 weeks to us, it's a long time.
Yeah.
So we need to be patient with the answers. And sometimes you got to remember, sometimes the answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't always tell us yes to everything we want
Oh,
because that may not be in our best interest for this life.
very
So
true.
slow down, meditate, pray, and be patient.
Oh, absolutely. Keith, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you. I know our internet's been in and out a little
So
bit. Can you hear me?
I apologize for that. I can
That's
hear you.
okay.
Been hearing you fine all the way through.
All right, good. Yeah, you've been chopping up on me a little bit here and there, but I'm here. Unfortunately, it's time to go. Want to wish you the best in your travels. When is the official? Now you're out there moving out, right? So tell me what's next.
I don't know yet.
Good. I love it.
We will see when it happens. We're just doing this as we're guided.
Beautiful. Well, best
So
of
we'll
luck to you.
probably be
Thank you
back
for.
in Billings here shortly to get another load, but we'll see.
All right. Thank you so much. How do we contact
So
you?
okay. Well, goodsholistichealing.com. Email is info@goodsholistichealing.com and 406-272-6006.
Beautiful. Thanks so
Call and
much.
get an appointment made. Or
Reach out. Thank you.
hey, have
Bye-bye,
a good day,
Keith.
everyone. Thank you.
Too.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.